Hello everyone, this is Sensei Starman, and welcome to the first chapter of Let's Play Dungeon Keeper. Now, Dungeon Keeper is a rather important and infamous game historically. It first came out in 1997. They created an expansion called Deeper Dungeons 1 year after that. It inspired a sequel that was very good, and then unfortunately got bought out and made to make a mobile game that was very, very bad. But it did leave an impact. It was one of the first simulation strategy games based around the idea of playing the villain, because it was the brainchild of one Peter Molyneux, a rather legendary game designer. You may know him for the Fable series, but this one he made just before Fable. He did mostly simulation games before that, and he had an idea to revolutionize the RPG for computers, because until that point, most role-playing games were in the image of Ultima. You build a group of heroes, you go out, you go into the dungeon, you kill things, you get stuff, you save the world. All very rote. And he had the idea, what if we made the game where you were like the dungeon master, where you are the evil overlord, assembling the army of darkness, building the traps, setting up the challenge for the heroes. Well, that was the idea behind Dungeon Keeper, and it was a hit. Inspired the add-on, inspired a sequel that worked out the kinks of the first game. I actually debated playing Dungeon Keeper 2 first, because it is, to be frank, the better game, but I thought we'd do it in order and take a look at the origins and then work our way through to part 2. And then check out some of the spiritual sequels that have come out since then. There are games like Startopia from 2001, which was basically Dungeon Keeper in space. Evil Genius, which took the idea, except you're playing a James Bond type villain. Dungeons, Dungeon Overlord. Overlord, which was more combat oriented, but still based around the idea of playing the villain. And eventually a game from 2015, for the Overworld, which is essentially Dungeon Keeper 3 without the name. And why could they not use the name? Unfortunately, 2014, Dungeon Keeper was used by a company to make one of the most infamously terrible pay-to-play mobile games ever, and the franchise has fallen into disrepute since then, which is unfortunate because this is a true classic in my estimation. So we'll go ahead and get started. With no further ado, I'm going to be playing the no CD audio version because, unfortunately, I discovered during my first attempt to record this that in the CD audio version there is no way to turn down the music. And since I'm trying to do a little bit of commentary on this, because one of the things that the game improved upon with the second one is that you have the narrator who reads the opening and closing text for every level, now offering commentary throughout and reading all your notifications, which I'm going to have to do for some of this. So let us go ahead and get started with the opening cinematic. heck of an introduction, isn't it? And I love how the symbol they have for when the game is loading, because this was a CD-ROM game. It's a spinning disc that looks like the Eye of Sauron, but it's a spinning CD. Anyway, we will go ahead and start a new game. And yes, this actually did have a multiplayer mode, which was a neat option. So we'll go ahead and start a new game. And we are not hearing anything because I have the volume turned down completely. So let's actually go to options. And this is one of the other things I discovered. There are supposed to be in-game volume controls. They don't work. You have to come back to the main menu to adjust things. So let us start a new game and listen to the dulcet tones of our narrator as he describes the beautiful land that we were about to despoil.
Eversmile. Set in the realm of joy, the people of Eversmile are plagued only by aching facial muscles, and not anthrax as we had hoped. Eversmile is a disgusting land of good humor and polite frivolity.
And yes, we can see the entirety of the overworld we are going to be destroying. There's not much in the way of mouse control, though, so good thing it starts out automatically centered upon the land we are going to conquer first. So we click on it. Alright, the first thing a keeper needs is somewhere to keep gold when it's been mined out of the rock by his imps. To create a treasure room, select the treasure room icon from the rooms panel and fill the empty area to the west with treasure room tiles. And we'll go ahead and zoom out a bit. This is a message, right-click to delete it. And we actually have to hit the checkbox. We can just right-click on the icon to delete it, though. Our current mission will be the question mark here. So yes, this right here is the dungeon heart. It is the source of our power. If the heroes destroy it, they destroy us. And we have an overview map here, which does show us the entire realm. We start off with a little area here in the middle. We can dig out to explore, but we won't be doing that because while it usually does pay to explore, in this level there's nothing here in the outskirts worth digging toward. But we can rotate the camera around, zoom in and zoom out as befits us. And we already have this one space here, so we will go ahead and start laying down tiles. The rooms are generally more efficient if you build them in squares. So now, expertly done. Press the right mouse button to turn the pointer back into the Hand of Evil. Mine out the gold to the east by tagging the area with the left mouse button. Your imps will dig out the gold and carry it back to the treasure room. Yeah, we can see the gold here. Gold covers everything we do. It pays our minions, constructs our rooms, and in this game, gold is used to cast spells. You run out of gold, you run out of magic. They did change this in the sequel. Use the cursor keys to see other areas of the underworld. Rotate and zoom the view with the right control key and cursor keys. If you want to make your creatures work harder, slap them by right-clicking the Hand of Evil on them. Slapping will harm your creatures. Most of your enemies you can slap to death. And we will need to rotate to get a good angle on it. And I'm going to dig a little bit of space out here for reasons. Evil reasons. Use the left mouse button to pluck your creatures from the dungeon. Use the right mouse button to drop them over a room or tile belonging to your dungeon. Creatures perform the tasks most relevant to the situation they are dropped into. And new area discovered. Yes, we have this hollow space here with a bit of water. Greedily, Dunkeeper. Now you need to turn some of your dungeon into a lair. Lairs are where creatures rest and recover. The area Imp just mined out would be an ideal spot for some creatures to lurk. Select the lair icon from the Rooms panel. Now, why did I dig out this space here? Save some time. So we'll go ahead and build ourselves a nice spacious lair. Lairs do not need to be square, generally, but you can get some good reactions to having them be nice and even because some of the creatures require squared off spaces. And you'll note that now that they have nothing to do, the imps are running around fortifying the walls. Enemies can dig through earth same as you. If they run into a wall, they cannot. And it generally makes your creatures happier to have walls rather than earthen construct. Alright, dig a tunnel next to the portal to the north. Portals appear on the map as flashing squares until they are claimed. Creatures only use portals claimed by a keeper. Your imps claim a portal as soon as it connects to your dungeon. So we'll go ahead and dig ourselves a tunnel. Keep it straightforward and simple. Now on levels where we have rival keepers and the multiplayer mode, you want to build up a decent dungeon before you go claiming the portal, particularly if you're trying to attract certain creatures, because certain rooms attract certain creatures. You can't attract a warlock if you don't have a library. Alright, so now we have our portal. Oh, and one little spell. We can possess our creatures. And it looks like we just got our first monster. Your first minion has arrived. It's a giant fly. It can spit corrosive vomit at your enemies, and its wings grant the hideous insect the speed to intercept the most nimble trespassers. A beetle has scuttled into your realm. It's tough enough to absorb a lot of damage. Like most creatures, beetles require food. Dig out a new area, select the hatchery icon, and create your hatchery. Tasty snacks will soon emerge from its enchanted soil. Let's turn the map around. And now you see why I dug out this space here. So, let's make a space to feed our minions. And this is another one where it does benefit us to have a square space. Imps fortify your walls to prevent intruders from tunneling in. If you want to create more imps, go to the research panel. Select the imp icon and left-click anywhere in your dungeon. Each imp you create costs more than the previous imp. So we don't want to create too many imps. Six should be sufficient. But we already have our entire dungeon walled off. So yes, flies don't do much except wander around. When you're in an open area, they can help you map the unknown world quite quickly. Beetles, not as useful, but they are tough. They're good shockline troops early on before you can afford better monsters. But they won't do much other than just lie around, eat, sleep. And here we go, intruders approach. They see gaps in your fortifications in order to gain entry to your dungeon. A white trail on the map indicates their progress. Click the icon at the top of the control panel to see a bigger map. And yes, well, we can see them. We can actually hear them. But they are not going to be able to get through our walls. At least not immediately. Some of the more powerful ones can dig through your walls. Eventually, you get a spell that allows you to tunnel through enemy walls, make it into space you can dig through. We want to have a handful of creatures ready to drop on top of intruders. To pick up creatures quickly, left-click them from within the creatures panel. You can only drop your own creatures within the confines of your own dungeon. And something we can do... We can actually drop a creature into the portal and banish them from the dungeon, which enables us to free up space to get more creatures if we get something we'd rather not have.
It is payday.
95 gold. Oddly enough, the animals do not have much of a concept of money. Okay, well, it appears that they are about to break into...
Your creatures are attacking the enemy. Your creatures are falling in battle. Your minions are winning a battle.
Savor your first victory while you can. You've attracted the wrath of the Lord of his realm. His party will be here soon. Well, we say his party. It'll actually just be him. But I demolished the wall so I can start putting the imps to work claiming this space, which will enable us to set up a rather nice ambush for the Lord of the land. And we can see the route that they traced around our wall.
We shall send you back to the pit, foul one. Your creatures are attacking the enemy. Your creatures are falling in battle.
Yeah, flies, not very tough, but they are good scouts. You can see how he explored this whole area where the Lord of the land is waiting.
Your creatures are under attack.
Yeah, the imps are non-combatants unless the heroes get to the dungeon heart itself.
Your creatures are attacking the enemy.
And there we have him surrounded. Of course, one giant beetle is not much match for a knight. But when you have 6 of them around him, it doesn't matter much.
Your minions are winning a battle. You have conquered this realm.
And there we go. Your work here is done. Now there is no one to prevent you from obliterating this nauseating realm and expanding your empire into a neighboring land. Nice. Now here's a fun little fact. Once you beat the Lord of the Land, you do not need to stop playing the realm out. In fact, if you're in an area where there are hidden secrets, it might benefit you to keep going. But there's no point to it here. There's no gold to mine, no secrets to find. But you'll see we can dig out to the very edge of the map. Impenetrable rock we cannot go through. But we can't have our minions start making a tunnel, and they will start automatically claiming land, leading out to said tunnel.
Hawk. War and anthrax have taken to this land like fleas to a rat. The region is, thanks to your unstinting efforts, now a major eyesore.
So yes, we have creatures attracted, efficiency, time, style, and rating. Oddly enough, I did much better on my first attempts testing this when I was getting the sound bugs worked out, but never mind. So,
Cozyton, a hideous sham of a town in which the prosperous citizens have no gripes or moans. Sadly, even the children are happy and secure. This is because they aren't punished for non-existent crimes.
All right, well, we can in fact quit here. You'll note that we have continue game. And I think we have done enough for this chapter to give you a feel for the history, the setup, and how this is going to play out. The one criticism this game got upon release was that it was somewhat repetitive. There are 20 levels in the initial campaign, and they all do boil down to the same goal, but they do change things up, give you new items, give you new goals, give you new things to make it interesting and play the game your way. But we will go ahead and stop here for now, and next time we will take on, oh, what was the name of it again? Cozyton?
Cozyton,
Thank you.
a hideous sham of a town.
So yes, next time we will conquer Cozyton. But thank you all for watching. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Leave a comment if you are so inclined. And we will continue the desolation next time. Take care until then.